UAE National Day. At the midfield terminal, we're going to have a ton of portable self-service kiosks. So the lines go away to a certain extent. Yeah. These will be voice-based, facial recognition is going to come in. The other thing which we are heavily investing on is facial biometric services, right? And we are already piloting this. For example, most of you know we have the US immigration pre-clearance at Abu Dhabi. We are piloting now for all flights to New York. You don't even need your passport to clear immigrations. It's through facial biometrics, right? So that's a technology intervention which improves passenger experience, improves security for the US authorities, etc. So that's why at the airport. The aircraft in the air, above the wing experience, is becoming much more connected. The cockpits are now connected. The cabin crew are now continuously connected through their iPads to on ground, which helps them focus really on delivering next level passenger experience, focusing on service rather than doing administrative tasks. Till a few years ago, you would see cabin crew are inundated with administrative works and not able to attend to passenger requirements. But now you see more and more automation there through technology where the aircraft is completely connected. In fact, the needs of the pilots, the data and network needs of the pilots are more than the passenger today, which is a good sign. Once you arrive on ground, I think there's more and more adoption of radio frequency based baggage identification, right? How long have we been using World Tracer? For ages, since I've come into the industry world. But how many airlines are efficiently able to track baggage using World Tracer? Not too high. I think so it's time to adapt to radio frequency based baggage identification. And lastly, the post-sale experience also. So many passengers still struggle with refunds from airlines. Robotic process automation, RPA as it's called. I think that's the key to this because most of these refunds are rule-based. Yeah, you can easily automate rule-based processes and stuff like group refunds, right? Group refunds from airlines take months today. That is a real opportunity to hire the right technology partner and automate some of this stuff so that the passenger journey, right from booking till the post-service sales, gets completely seamless.
Thank you. I mean, you've given some great examples. I think the audience wants to clap. Yeah, you can do that, please. Please. You can be generously appreciated.
Good.
I see a lot of students here as well, you know. So, and I would also request, I would encourage you. You made a great point of saying that you know when we move from paper to digital, we just try to see what we were doing in the paper world and then just make it digital, you know. But maybe you can just from an outsider view come into the industry and see what is it that we need to stop doing. I mean, we don't probably need to be doing a lot of things which you are doing, and sometimes we don't even know why you were doing it, but you're still doing it. So go and ask the question, why is it there? I mean, challenge the status quo, and I think that's a role which you as the next gen can play in coming into the industry and you know, challenging the status quo. And a lot of things can change because we were talking of paperless in the earlier session. We can go paperless, but even we can go less with processes. So I think that's another thing we need to simplify. That's the key. So we've heard a lot on the airline front. I will now come to you, Satyaki. You are very well positioned between 3 international carriers on one side and then one domestic on the other side. And the airport is right in the center. You are well positioned. I can see that. So tell us now from your perspective, from an airport perspective. I mean, some best practices, how you kind of collaboration has worked, where you've brought changes working together and something which has really impacted and helped the customer.
Sure, I think Sanjeev, it's a good point. I think over the last 5 years we spoke about digital transformation this morning in multiple sessions, and I think we've really taken it very seriously. We started our digital transformation journey in 2017-18, and I think at that point, of course, nobody knew COVID was around the corner. But I think COVID actually accelerated and did more for digital transformation than anything else. And the entire world sort of went digital at that point. But we had invested majorly in 3 or 4 platforms, even before COVID sort of was on the scene. The first one was a process automation platform, which was fairly straightforward, which was to sort of generally go digital across the entire enterprise. And that's something that we did across our organization. And I remember what I recall the earlier panel discussion where we were talking about going paperless. At Bangalore Airport now we're completely paperless. So as far as the cargo business is concerned as well, for instance. So we implemented an ACS system which has made the entire process paperless in very similar ways. We also invested in customer experience platform, which has now gone live with the Pulse, which is a Bangalore airport app, and that allows passengers or customers to come to the airport and use their mobile phone to sort of interact in most ways, whether it's for flight information or for information on queuing and getting through the airport, indoor navigation, ordering food and getting it delivered, for instance. So these are all initiatives focused on either operating efficiency or customer experience, right? And also, in the case of the app, maybe in the future, some ways of generating ancillary and commercial revenue. The third platform that we're very particularly very thrilled about is the DigiYatra platform. It was actually conceptualized at Bangalore Airport's Innovation Lab, and it came out of initial discussions as part of the T2 imagination process. And what's been most heartening is how sort of all the airports came together as part of those discussions after, when we had initial discussions. And then in discussions with both the ministry as well as with people like Nandan Nilekani and other people within the Digital India stack, I think it became clear that there was no point with each airport and each airline trying to do something different, right? It made sense for a pan-Indian platform that could be rolled out across all airports, but which could equally, in the longer term, be something that the travel and transportation industry could adopt very easily. So I think that became the DigiYatra platform. The DigiYatra Foundation was set up, and as you know, all of the airports as well as the Niti Aayog, everybody is sort of involved in a big way. And we now have it live across 7 or 8 airports in India, and I suspect that over the course of the next 24 months, you'll have it rolled out across all airports in India, at least certainly all the major airports. So that's another initiative where everybody came together. It was not just the airports, but it was the airlines, it was the government, it was key stakeholders, and I think we got together pretty quickly in order to get to a solution which makes sense, in order to